Awesome. Okay, well, welcome everybody again to unfortunately our last Happy Feet session for this fall 7 weeks. I have loved every moment with you guys. It's been so fun. We got a good workout today, so it'll be sending it off with a good note. I'm gonna share my screen super quick. We just have a quick like one or two slides to go over before we start working out. Perfect. All right. So once again, welcome to Happy Feet for Resistance training, training for balance part 2. Last week we did part 1. If you haven't seen it or were not able to make it, it is on the YouTube channel. And then just a couple reminders before we get started. This is all we're really going to go over before we get into working out, since it is our last session. And I know I want to make the most of it, and I bet you guys want to make the most of it. So just some reminders for today. As always, as I've said these past 7 weeks, safety is always going to be our number one priority, especially when we're focusing on balance. It is okay to use an aid, whether it's a chair, personal aid. If someone's with you, that's perfectly okay too. We want to make sure you guys are feeling safe at home. And as always, you can unmute your mic, you can raise your hand, you can shout out a question, comment, concern, whatever it may be during the session to make you feel more safe. Especially with using aids too, you can always work on progression. So if you want to try the first set where maybe you do the modification of the exercise, you could try that. And then maybe the second set, you try the exercise instead of the modification. Just see the difference of the two, or you can try out the modification before we start the actual sets. And then also being mindful of side effects as always. If you're on treatment, you may be feeling fatigued, dizzy, and then shortness of breath is normal. You may also feel like increased heart rate and other stuff like that, muscle fatigue a little bit. So just be mindful of that while we're doing that today, especially with balance as well. And then also taking breaks often. We'll take breaks in between sets, in between exercises, drinking water. That's important too. And then as always, doing what makes you feel good is the number one priority. I know when I work out, I want to do things that make me feel good. So I want you guys to do things that make you feel good when you work out. So if something doesn't really feel right or doesn't feel good, try the modification or try the exercise, vice versa. And if you need any feedback, as always, feel free to unmute your mic. And with that short intro, we're going to exercise. And I will stop sharing my screen. And we will start with our warm-up. As always, we have our very similar warm-up repetitions, very similar to last week as well. So we're going to go ahead, move the camera towards Kara so that she's focused on her chair. Starting with our calf raises. So the exercise is going to be shifting the weight into your toes, squeezing those calf muscles, lifting up, and then slowly back down. And then the modification will be seated calf raises. Very similar. She's scooching to the edge of her seat, shifting the weight onto her toes and squeezing those calves. And with that being said, we are going to go ahead and do 10 repetitions of these at your own pace. You can follow along with Kara. I'll also be counting out loud today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. And today we're going to do 2 sets of them. So we're going to take a quick like 20-second break, 30-second break. If you need to grab some water, you can, but we're going to do one more set of these calf raises. And we'll go ahead and start with our second set. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Last one, 10. Awesome. You guys can take a break for a moment. Kara's going to demonstrate our next warm-up exercise, which is our toe raises. So very similar. You're just shifting the weight back into your heels instead of your toes to drive those toes up towards the ceiling. And the modification is going to be seated toe raises. Very similar. Scooch into the edge of this sheet, shifting your weight into your heels and driving those toes up to the ceiling. And we'll go ahead and start the exercise here. We're going to do 2 sets of 10 repetitions again. And Carol will go ahead and start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Awesome. Take a quick 15-20 second break again, and then we'll do one more set of these.
Bring you to the gym with me so you can count my sets.
Perfect. I would love to. All right, going into our second set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Our next warm-up exercise is going to be seated. We're going to do our neck circles. And we're just going to do 2 sets of these as well. So for our neck circles, Kara's going to rotate counterclockwise, big neck circles. She's going to do 5 counterclockwise and 5 clockwise. If this is too difficult for you or it's too uncomfortable, you can also shake your head yes and no, very slowly, making sure we get that full range of motion. And if you're shaking your head yes and no, we're going to do 5 yeses and 5 nos. I'm going to have everyone do this at their own pace. You can go ahead and start if you haven't already. Really make sure we're taking the time to get that full range of motion. Nice and slow through these movements. And once you finish with that first set, take a little bit of a break, about 10 seconds or so. And then we'll go ahead and go into our second set of neck circles, 5 clockwise, 5 counterclockwise. And if you're shaking your head yes and no, we're going to do 5 yeses and 5 nos. Really just doing whatever feels best at this part. If you want to, combine the 2 a little bit, do some yeses, some nos, and some head circles. Just really trying to warm up our neck and our upper back, our traps. Just making sure they're nice and slow and controlled. Awesome, everyone's looking good. No, you're good. All right, our next warm-up exercise are going to be our toe taps. Carol will demonstrate the exercise and then the modification as always. So if you want to hold on to a chair, you can. I would recommend that you start with that. And then if you feel comfortable, you can take away the chair, but let's hold on to the chair first for balance. You're going to shift the weight into one leg, and then you're going to tap the opposite leg forward with your toe, bring it back, shift the weight into your other leg, tap it forward with your toe. Perfect. And then the modification for this is just going to be the same thing, but seated. You're going to scoot to the edge of the chair. Perfect. Shift the weight into one leg, tap forward, shift to the other, tap it forward. And we're going to do 2 sets of 10 repetitions total. So 5 on each leg. And we'll go ahead and start whenever Kara is ready. Perfect. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Little break. And if you held onto the chair that time and feel comfortable, maybe trying to put only one hand on, or take one of your hands off, or maybe no hands. You can try that. Hands on your hips is awesome. And make sure when you guys are exhaling, that's the part you're pointing your toe out and stepping your toe out. That's going to help engage your core in this exercise. So we'll go ahead and start with our second set. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Let's all grab some water before we start our first exercise of the day. And then you can grab my sweater over there. Perfect. And for this next one, you will need that pillow, sweatshirt, towel, blanket, whatever you would like. That's a soft surface to put in behind your chair for our step ups. Today we're using just one of my winter coats that I honestly don't really ever wash, so it doesn't really matter if it gets a little bit dirty. But once again, you can use towel, blanket, old pillow, really any of those. Give you guys a moment to get situated and set up. Awesome, looking good. Okay, this first one, we are gonna do step ups with a calf raise. So we're gonna hold on to the back of the chair, very light on the fingertips. If you see Kara's hand, she's not gripping the chair, but very light, very small touch. And as she exhales, she's going to step up with one foot, exhale, step up with the other foot, and then exhale even more into a calf raise. And lower back down, step back down with the opposite foot. So when she steps up with her right foot, steps up with her left, big exhale into a calf raise, come back down, steps back down, just like that. You guys can try out a couple of these if you would like. We're going to also show the modification. So the modification, she's going to wrap the band around to the tops of her thighs. Sorry, let me adjust the chair for a second. Perfect. She's going to scoot to the edge of her seat, and she's going to do a seated march into a calf raise. So she's going to exhale, exhale, and then calf raise. So exhale, exhale, calf raise. So she does a march with her right, a march with her left, and then a calf raise with both feet. So for this exercise, if you're doing the modification, you're going to do 10 repetitions total. So the one on the right, one on the left, and the calf raise is 1 repetition. And if you're choosing to do the step up version, you're going to do 5 on each leg. So it'll be 10 total. Kara's going to demonstrate the step up version just because that is a little bit more complicated to count the number. So I'll count it out loud with you guys. Perfect. I'll adjust the camera. And once again, we're going to do 10 repetitions total. 5 with one leg, 5 with the other. Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and start whenever you're ready. Perfect. That was 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Awesome. Now we're going to switch legs. 1. 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. Awesome. All right, taking a little break here. We are going to do 2 more sets of these. So take a break, catch your breath, get some water, just take a moment to recoup. And then in about 30 seconds or so, we'll do another set of these. Still, we're doing 10 repetitions total. So if you're doing the step ups, 5 each leg, and then if you're doing the modification seated, you're doing 10 repetitions total. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with our second set whenever you are ready. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, last one on this leg. 5, awesome, onto the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Awesome. Second set is done. Y'all are looking awesome. For everyone that is on camera, keep it up. You guys are killing it. We got 1 more set of these. So once again, we'll take a little break and then we will get into our last set. Awesome. Hopefully we grab some water, took a little break, and now we're going to do our last set. Whenever you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Onto the other leg. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. 10. Awesome job, y'all. Go ahead, take a break, take a breather, grab some water. Our next exercise is going to be seated. So if you'd like to go ahead and have a seat, you can go ahead and do so. Here is your band. Perfect. All right, while you guys are taking a break, Kara's going to go ahead and demonstrate our next exercise. We're going to do our upright rows. So she's looping the band to the tops of her knees or the ends of her quads. She's also going to scoot to the edge of the chair so that her feet are nice and planted flat on the ground. She's going to grip the band with her palms facing down. And then as she exhales, she's going to drive her elbows up and then inhales, releasing her arms back down nice and slow. So exhale, and then a 1, 2 on the way down. Perfect. And then if this is a little too difficult for you, you can loop the band around only one leg. So she's going to take the band off, loop it around one leg, just take it off. And then same exact exercise, but the band's going to have a little less resistance with it being looped around only one of her legs.
Okay, can she turn around facing us?
Yes, yeah, she can show you facing her too.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, you can go ahead and relax, loop the band back around. And we're going to do 3 sets of 10 repetitions of these. So she's going to start whenever she's ready, and I'll count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Take a little breather once you're done. Just another reminder, make sure when we're doing these, we're driving our elbows up. So we're not pulling with our traps or our neck, but our goal is to get our elbows up like this so they are parallel with our shoulder. If you can't quite get there, that is completely okay. But that is our goal. Even if you're a little bit closer to with your hands by your chest, that's okay too. But make sure we're driving up with our elbows and not up with our like traps or our neck.
And make sure that you're keeping your shoulders down. Don't
Mhm.
shrug.
Yep. You want to keep them rolled down and back, squeezing our shoulder blades together. All right, we'll go ahead, get started with our second set of these, if everyone's ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. We have one more set of these.
Remind me again where we should be feeling that.
You should be feeling it mostly in your shoulders, maybe a little bit in your traps and upper back, but mostly in your shoulders. So that's why it's so important to keep your shoulders rolled like down and back, squeezing your shoulder blades together. That will help focus it in like the front of your shoulders. Good question. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with our last set of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome job. You guys can go ahead and put the band to the side for right now because our next exercise, you will not need a band. Go ahead, take a break to get some water. You can stay seated too while we take this little break, and then Kara will demonstrate the next exercise. Like this. All right, while you guys are taking your break, Kara's gonna go ahead and demonstrate the next exercise. The exercise for this one is gonna be standing. If this is too difficult as well, we have a modification. I'm gonna have her do it facing towards you, and then she'll also do the side view because this one's a little bit complicated. So I'll have you guys all watch, and then she will do both views. So she's gonna reach down into a squat towards her toes. And then as she exhales, she's gonna rise back up, reaching her arms up and overhead. And when she's in this position, her arms are nice and extended. The camera's a little bit difficult to see. But then she's gonna come back down, inhales, reaches towards her toes again. Exhales, coming back up, reaching towards the ceiling. And then I'm gonna have her turn facing towards me. So you guys can really focus in on her posture. So before she even starts, she's keeping her shoulders rolled down and back. She's looking forward, not looking down. So she inhales, reaches down towards her toes. You see her back is nice and straight. And then exhales, comes back up, reaches up towards the ceiling, and her arms are nice and straight. Posture is great. Inhales, comes back down. Exhales, reaches up to the ceiling. Go ahead and relax. All right, she's gonna also demonstrate the modification if you'd like to try that as well. She's also gonna demonstrate this one where she's facing forward, and then she'll also demonstrate it turning towards me. So for the modification, she's going to reach towards her toes, inhale, and then exhale, reach her arms up and also extend her legs at the same time. Inhale again, reach back down towards her toes. Exhale, reach up to the ceiling, extend the legs. Go ahead and relax, and we'll flip. So the way Kara's seated, her back is not against the chair. That's going to be a little bit more difficult. If you are not comfortable with your balance, you can scoot your back to the chair. But she's going to do it where, yeah, perfect. She's going to reach towards her toes. Exhale, reach up, extend the legs, squeeze the quad muscles, and then inhale, coming back down. Exhale, reach up and extend. Perfect. Go ahead and relax. We'll let you all take a little break if you did some of those with us. I know those are very exerting. So we'll take about a 10-second break, and then we're going to do 10 repetitions of these, and Carol will demonstrate so you guys can follow along with her. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Ooh, okay, we'll take a bit of a break. I know those are exerting a lot of energy, a lot of the muscles in your body. We're gonna do 2 more sets of these. So if you need to grab some water, grab some water. I'm definitely gonna grab some water. But great job. Everyone on the screen looks really good with their technique. All right, we'll go ahead and get into our second set. 10 repetitions once again, whenever you are ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. And just a reminder, you guys are always welcome to follow along with Kara, but if she's going too fast or too slow or whatever it may be, you can also be doing the exercises at your own pace. Don't feel like her doing the exercises at her pace is gonna make you feel like you're rushing or not doing the workout to where you want to be. So just keep that in mind for the rest of the workout as well. But we'll take another 20 or 30 seconds here, let you catch your breath a little bit, and then we'll go into our final set of these rising suns. All right, about 10 more seconds, then we'll get started with our last set. Awesome, you can go ahead and start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome job, everyone. If you have finished, you can go ahead and take a seat. Our next exercise is going to be seated. Take a little break here. While you guys are taking your break, Kara's going to demonstrate our next exercise. It's going to be our single leg press. So she's going to loop the band around the midsection of one of her feet. Perfect. And then the other portion, she's just going to kick her foot out as she exhales. So exhale, straighten her leg. Inhale, bring her knee back in. There you go. Perfect. So every time she kicks her knee out, she exhales, making sure that leg is nice and straight. And then I'll also have her relax and turn towards you guys so you can see the front
Thank you.
view, because I know it can be a little bit difficult to see. So perfect. Bring in her arms close to her belly button, and then exhale, extend that leg. Inhale, bring it back in. So her arms are doing her best to hold the band in by her belly button as she exhales. Perfect. And go ahead and relax. The other exercise is going to be the leg extension. Perfect. And she looped the band around both of her ankles. And as she exhales, she extends that leg out so that it's nice and straight. This is going to be the modification for our seated leg press. And then I'll also have her flip towards me one more time to show you guys the side view. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So she's
Okay.
exhaling as she straightens
Yeah.
her leg.
Both times, is she halfway on the seat both times, but with even the other?
For the leg press, she is scooted up against the seat so that her back is touching it for a point of
Sure.
contact.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
thought
for the
so.
leg press or for the leg extension, she can scooch a little bit closer.
Sure.
But also you can keep your back against there. She's just a little bit short for the chair.
Is it personally, for either of them, I have to sit up this far so that my feet are flat on the ground. I'm just real short.
Got it. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
But we're going to go ahead and do 10 repetitions of each leg. So whether you're doing the leg press or the leg extension, we're going to do 10. And Kara's going to go ahead and start, and I'll count along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and switch legs. Same exact thing on this leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. First set done. We are going to do 2 more sets of these. So go ahead, take a quick break, grab some water if you need to. Also, another reminder, when we are doing the leg press and holding onto the band, it can be really easy to let the band control you. So we want to make sure, once again, our shoulders are rolled down and back when we're holding that band close to you. So for example, if my arms are here, I don't want my shoulders slumped like this. I want to make sure they're rolled down and back and we're squeezing our shoulder blades together. That will also make it a lot easier to hold the band in place instead of just using your arms. Perfect. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and start with our second set. Go ahead and get set up, and then whenever Kara is ready, we'll begin. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Switching the band over to the other leg. Take as much time as you need. And starting with our 10 on the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Go ahead and rest. We have one more set of these. So once again, we'll take about 30 seconds to a minute, take a little bit of a breather, grab some water, and we'll get into our last set of these leg extensions or leg press. And then after this, we have only 2 more exercises and you guys are done. We're into our cool down. And if you're ready, we'll go ahead and get set up for our last set of either leg press or leg extensions. If you want to follow along with Kara. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Last 10 on our leg. You guys got it. Last 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Go ahead and relax. Go ahead, grab some water, take a little break. Next on our agenda, we have our heel walks, which we did this for the first time last week. You are more than welcome to either walk around the space you are in. You can also hold on to the chair and do your heel walks in place. And then we also have a modification that we'll show you as well. Kara's gonna first demonstrate holding on to the chair so you guys can look at the proper technique. So she's basically just going to shift the weight into her heels and rock from side to side, lifting up 1 foot at a time.
Excuse me.
You're good. During this, you really want to make sure when you exhale, you're trying to press your ribs, kind of like pressing your ribs onto your hips. So you're engaging your core during this exercise. And then she'll also demonstrate holding onto the chair, facing the chair, so you guys can see how she's lifting each foot off of the ground, slowly shifting her weight. Perfect. And then she'll also demonstrate these heel walks walking. So we'll have her put her back. Perfect. Back towards the glass. Awesome. And walk towards you guys. Hands on her hips, turn around and walk back. So she's keeping the weight in her heels the whole time. And then the modification for this is going to be seated calf raises. So I'll have her sit in the chair, scooch to the edge of the chair, shift the weight into her toes, and squeeze those calves, slowly coming back down. Perfect. And we're going to do 3 sets of these. Kara's going to do it holding on to the chair. Yeah, just so you guys can see her throughout the movement better. We'll have her face the camera too. If everyone's ready, you can go ahead and get started. We're going to do 20 reps total, so 10 reps each foot. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Awesome job, everyone. You guys look great. We're going to do 2 more sets of these. When we're doing these as well, it's really important to make sure that we're focusing on trying to keep our hips nice and steady. So even though our weight is shifted onto our heels, we want to try and limit the amount of movement we're swaying back and forth. We really want to try and isolate our body, and that's going to help engage our core. Does that make sense to everyone? Thumbs up? Cool. If you guys have questions, as always, feel free to unmute as well. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with that second set whenever you're ready.
Hey, one quick question. So we're just keeping the weight on our heels. We're not going like from side to side on our heels, right? We're just.
Yes, you are keeping the weight in your heels, and you're just shifting the weight from one foot to another. So one heel to another is basically how we would like you to do this movement. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Perfect. That was a really good question, by the way. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Awesome. Second set is done. Go ahead, get some water, whatever, if you need to. We got one more set of these, and then we have our last exercise for our Happy Feet program. We're doing cool down stretches though, don't worry. All right, we will go ahead and get into our last set of these whenever you're ready, Kara. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Awesome. You guys need to grab some water after that last set. Go ahead and do so. Our last exercise is going to be a lunge with a standing march. All right, Kara's gonna go ahead and demonstrate it. She's gonna face the camera so that you guys can see the way she's doing her side lunge and the placement of her feet. So she's gonna start with her feet about hip distance apart, and then as she exhales, going out into a lateral lunge. Inhale, come back to center, tap your toe, and then tap or drive your knee up into a march, and then tap your foot back down, step out to a lunge, tap your foot up into a march, tap, lunge. Perfect. Awesome. And then the modification for this is going to be a seated march with a clamshell. So she'll also demonstrate that. So you're going to loop the band around both legs, and the band's going to be right above that knee, kind of on the end of your thigh. She's going to make sure when she does this exercise too that both her feet are together so that they're together for the clamshell. And she's going to drive one knee up, lower it down, other knee up, lower it down, and then exhale, clamshell, inhale, come back to center. So we'll do one more of those facing the camera, making sure our feet are together. So right up, march, march, exhale, clamshell, inhale back in nice and slow. We'll do, yeah, one more. Well, that can sometimes happen with the band. She's going to also be demonstrating the exercise, not the modification. But if you have any other questions, please let me know.
I have a quick question about the side lunge. Is the foot that you're stepping out on, should it be turned out to the side or is it straight?
It should be straight. Yes, the toes, all the toes should always be pointed away from you, or like if you are standing straight, they should be pointing forward.
Because that's less stress on your knee by doing it that way, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. You also want to make sure when you're doing your side lunge, your knee doesn't come over your foot a ton. So maybe stepping out even further. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That looks good. Yeah.
Thank you.
If everyone's ready, we'll go ahead and start with our first set of these. And we're going to do 8 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, last one. 8, awesome. I'm gonna have you move the chair over. Perfect. Thinking exactly like me. All right, switching to our other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, 8. Awesome. I know those are pretty exerting, so we'll take a minute or so here. Just take a little bit breather. How did everyone feel about those? Good, medium, not so good. Good, good, awesome, all thumbs up, we love it. Everyone on camera looks great. And in about 20 seconds or so, we will start our last set of our last week and last session of Happy Feet. Crazy we've come this far, you guys are doing amazing. I'm gonna have you flip the chair back over to start on the foot that you, perfect. Awesome, we'll go ahead and start with our last set. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you guys, when you guys are lunging, 4, you guys are keeping the weight in your heels. So when you step that foot out, 5, you're keeping the weight in your heels. Perfect. 6, 7, last one on this leg. 8, awesome. Switching over to the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost there. 5, 6, 7, last one. 8, awesome job. Everyone, I would like you guys to clap it up for yourselves. You guys finished your last session today. You guys did awesome. Take a moment or two. We're gonna do some cool down exercises and stretches. All of them will be seated, so if you wanna go ahead and take a seat, you can, be my guest. Grab some water too if you haven't already. And we'll go ahead and get started with our cool down exercises and stretches, starting with our figure 4 stretch. Perfect. And for this stretch, you can scoot to the edge of your seat. Also, I'll put it down. And we're just gonna bring the heel or foot of one leg onto the thigh or right above the knee of the other leg. And you're just gonna try and hinge at your hips forward. You should feel the stretch in your glutes and your hamstrings. And we'll hold this for about 20 seconds or so. If this is too uncomfortable, you can do more of a knee hug where you drive that knee up towards your chest. Perfect. And you can go ahead and relax and we'll switch to the other side. Hold it again for about 20 seconds or so. Make sure during our cool down, you're also really focused on your breathing. So we're inhaling through our nose, exhaling out of our mouth. And every time you exhale, see if you could sink a little bit deeper into that stretch. Go ahead and relax on this leg. We're gonna do it one more time. So starting with our first leg again. Maybe this time it's a little bit easier and you feel the stretch a little bit more. You can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. And go ahead and release onto the other leg one last time. Three, two, one, release. Awesome job. Next one, we have our neck stretch. So at first, we're going to take our right hand, place it on the back of our neck, and try and bring our chin towards our armpit or our right side of our chest. We'll hold this for about 20 seconds or so. Make sure we're also pulling very gently. We don't want to pull too much on our neck. And every time we exhale, you can relax your head and your neck muscles a little bit more. Go ahead and release from this side, and then onto the left hand, bringing the left hand to the back. And go ahead and release one more time on each side. Maybe this side's a little bit easier now. And relax one last time. And 3, 2, 1, release. All right, now we're going into our seated hamstring stretch. For this one, we're gonna have you scoot to the edge of your seat. Yeah, scoot to the edge of your seat. One foot is gonna be planted at 90 degrees, the other foot heel and toe facing up, leg is nice and straight. As you exhale, you're going to place both hands on top of each other, exhale and reach towards your toes. And we'll hold this for about 20 seconds or however long you would like. And go ahead and relax and switch. If this stretch is also a little bit difficult for you, you could do some knee hugs where you just drive your knee to your chest and lean back in the chair so that your back's touching the back of the chair, and try and pull that knee up as much as you can. And go ahead and relax, switch back to the first leg. And go ahead and relax one last time. And 3, 2, 1, release. Awesome. Our last one is our trunk extension. We did this for the first time last week. So Kara's gonna grab either side of the chair, have a good grip on it. As she exhales, she's going to round her shoulders, squeeze her shoulder blades, puff her chest out, and look up to the ceiling, relaxing her head and neck as much as possible. If this is too difficult for you, you can also not use your hands to push on the chair and just try and roll your shoulders down and back about your chest a little bit, or just look up to the ceiling and let your head and your neck relax. Hold this for about 20 seconds, and then we'll relax and do it one more time. And go ahead and relax. We'll just kind of shake it out a little bit. And then one last time, hold in this stretch. Three, two, one, release. And congratulations, you guys made it through the full 7 weeks. Woo! Awesome job. Give yourself a big pat on the back. You guys deserved it. It was not easy and you guys crushed it. And I'm so thankful to have taken the time to be here with you guys. Hopefully we can do it again. Before we leave, there is going to be a functional assessment video coming out. I believe it should be posted tomorrow morning when I post the exercise handout for this week. So if you were here for the first session and completed the functional assessments, we have a video where you guys can complete it at home, safe by yourself, if you want to. No pressure, you don't have to, but that will be attached, I think as either a clip or a YouTube link to the Cancer Bridges YouTube or its own video. I'm not sure how it's going to be posted, but it should be posted tomorrow morning.
Thank you.